living here. Nowhere else I would, and there's a lot of other beautiful places in the world. Everyone has their own they can call home. And this is my home, and this is where I love. And I love to travel anywhere in the world, but I could never give up the quality of life and the lifestyle that I've become accustomed to over the last years. It's like, I'll put it to this way. As great as America was for me, and I'm a US citizen, as great as it was, I could never go back because it could never offer me the quality of life that I have here. With that said, and that's, and it doesn't have to do whether you're in real estate or whether you're in whatever business you're doing. And this is a self-service industry here in Portugal, whether it's in tourism or whether it's, if you're good at something and you have a service that you can provide to someone, somebody, and you're good at it, people will look for you, whether it's a plumber or electrician. I happen to be a real estate agent. That's all.
That's awesome. I love that. So let me ask you a question. So what is traditionally Portuguese in terms of food? You guys have anything traditional?
Bacalhau. Bacalhau. We can have it 306. It's codfish. Okay. One of the big, one of the biggest, he's one of the big top, I'm not going to mention his name, but it's Spanish cook. He's very famous. And he said, and he's Spanish, and he says publicly that the best people to desalt the cod and prepare it are the Portuguese. And the North Atlantic waters of the Portuguese coast, because we have a humongous coastline, believe it or not, probably because of all the European leans of controlling those coastlines. But Portugal, like Greece as well, is predominantly for fish, and codfish is, although we get it from the Denmark or Iceland, North waters, but just in general, fish here and codfish is the traditional dish, bacalhau. And you can have it boiled or barbecued.
How do you spell it? I'm trying to look it up right now.
Bacalhau is Bacalhau. That's Portuguese, but it's in English. It's translated to codfish, cod, simple cod. But the way that we prepare it and desalt it, and the way it's done is fantastic. It's the national dish by far.
Wow,
we have a lot of
interesting. I just pulled it up. You don't have a recipe for this, do you?
Oh man, there's a recipe book that has 366 days a year, a different recipe for codfish. It's amazing. And I've tried I would say maybe about 40 different recipes. I can't imagine 366, but my best is the simple, whether it's boiled with vegetables, boiled potato, boiled egg. It's bacalhau com todos, with nice golden olive oil above, like a line of it. Oh, it's a nice bottle of white wine, whether from the Minho or from wherever, anywhere in Portugal. A nice white wine, chilled.
What good Portuguese white wine would go with this one?
My favorite, I'm not going to discriminate, but my favorite is an Alvarinho wine, which happens to be a friend of mine. Is actually is an owner, but it's not to be biased, but it's really good, and it's called Marquês Reguengos de Melgaço is the name, and it's I'll spell it for you. Reguengos.
Reguengos
de Melgaço. There's an area in the south of Portugal called Reguengos, which is a great wine area as well, but that's different. Reguengos de Melgaço is an Alvarinho. Alvarinho is a special brand, grape. It's a special grape. It's controlled, so there's it's a special grape, and only grown in this regions here of the further north of Portugal, in the regions of Melgaço, Valença, Monção, in this general area here in the north of Portugal.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. Oh my gosh, there's so many variety of it, of the wine. It is amazing.
Too many. I think. Yeah. Too
So,
many to spoil you.
so I haven't been to Portugal yet. That's why I'm asking. My wife and I planned to do a Euro trip right after we got married, and it just never really happened because our son was born, and you know. But Lisbon was on our top of the list. We wanted to start in Portugal. My wife, she's from Italy, so we wanted to start in Portugal, Spain, and then kind of make our way back into Italy. So this is good information for me because that's why I was taking notes. I'm all for the fish. I'm all for the wine. What about for our beer enthusiasts? Would you guys have a local delicacy there that's a good beer?
Two, there's two, and there's always a big competition about them. I jokingly say, I like to drink beer. When it says, what beer do you want? We have Superbock and we have Sagres, you know? And my answer is, I like to drink beer. And my personal favorite is Superbock. Here, you know? Here we go.
Oh man, Superbach. I love it.
That's
I'm
it.
looking it up right now.
Superbock. And there's Sagres, and it's also good, but more, this one, Superbock is more of a lager, more heavier, where you, even for dinner or eating or etc., it's always good. And Sagres is more of like a beer that you drink just casually without, just, on a hot
Casually.
summer day or something really cold. It's actually, they're both good. I jokingly say, because I just have my preference, but it has to do with the football team that they represent. So
Yes, I was going to say I've seen this beer in the commercials. I do watch some soccer. Um, that's awesome, man. So what is there to do? Okay, so we got some food covered, some beverages covered, but what about entertainment? I mean, I know you guys have some killer beaches out there. Tell me more about that.
there's beaches, rivers. If you're like more, most people that live in the interior part of Portugal, they're further away from the coastline. Believe it or not, they have some of probably one of the best river beaches in Europe. Some of them are like, well, there are a lot of them are. It's titled, they're blue flags, because they're just so clean, and also the infrastructures around it with restaurants or coffee shops, etc., and sunbathing, or even you want to take a nice little boat ride or rafting or etc. So there's a lot of activities to do. Some of the rivers are just as great as the beaches. The beaches here, from the south, obviously the water is warmer. You're looking at like in the summers in their mid 20s, 23, 24 degrees, 22, 23, etc. Whereas that same summer, the water here probably will get up to 19 degrees, 20 at most, and it's cold. It's North Atlantic, and so from the southernmost part that you go, it's obviously more warmer. And then don't forget, there's actually the islands as well of Madeira. Madeira has a great, although Madeira, the island, the big island, doesn't have great beaches. Porto Santo, which is only about a 2-hour boat ride from Madeira, has one of the most beautiful. I mean, it's been acclaimed for many, not only for Europe awards and itself, where people visit, because it's a long extension. We're talking kilometers and kilometers of walking alongside the beach, and great, crystal blue water, warm water as well. So Porto Santo has one of the beautiful beaches. Obviously, the beaches in Algarve are very picturesque, not to take away from any quality of the beaches here, like where I'm at, where you have a nice view of everything. It's just not ocean. You have river, you have everything, but I would say the beaches in the Algarve are more cliffy. So there's a lot of like just natural man-made structures, which is millions of years ago, you would say, wow, how could nature created some of these beautiful cliffs and everything around it, and then also the Vicentine coast between the Algarve and the Lisbon, and the area of the southwest Alentejo Park. Okay, it's a natural park. It's just stunning. Very. It's it's. I wouldn't say it's undiscovered because it's more and more, but it's really protected.
Mhm.
And then also the Silver Coast, anywhere from the Riviera, the Portuguese. We have a Portuguese Riviera too, Cascais, where all the nobility of years of the kings and all the nobility of Europe would spend their time here in Cascais. And so any region or any beach, any area from Cascais upwards up until Nazaré, like the Silver Coast is actually great. The weather, it's kind of midterm. Just as a hint of reference, Steve McNamara, one of the biggest names in surfing in the surfing world, surfed the one of the biggest waves. I think probably somebody already passed him, but it was in the Guinness books of the biggest wave in the world. So, and that was in Nazaré. It's created over the last couple of years a phenomenon, not only for the beaches, but for the enthusiast, the surfer, the windsurfer, the activity. I mean, the boats, it's just not about beaches. I think beaches are great, but probably whether if you're not a going person, you have the river beaches, which is just nature all of you. It's green, mountains, it's a nice river beach passing in the middle of a valley. There's something romantic about that as well, which even for and just spending a day or holiday is also. And with these times, people kind of this year especially, people appreciated that more and spent a lot more time in the rural countrysides instead of on the beach in hotels. With all going on in the world, people wanted just to be a little bit more away from each other. You know what I mean? Not antisocial, but social distancing. And in the rural sides, you have all that to do. The countryside offers that. So
Yeah,
and it's
definitely.
attractive as well. Not only the warm water in the beach is the typical, because there's no hotels on the beach. It's your traditional, like if you want to party in Ibiza or something, you don't have that here. I mean, you have some hotels that offer like a beach, kind of environment, or like a small beach club. You know what I mean? But it's nothing like that party atmosphere of Ibiza or anywhere else. I mean, you may have a little bit in the summertime in August. You have like those sunset parties, but then again, you have them in
Mhm.
Lisbon or Porto, on the rooftop hotels, which a nice chill out jazz music or chill out music, etc. And you have your nice little wine or a beer or a cocktail, and you're just enjoying the beautiful sunset. So everyone, there's really something to do for everyone. There's not just one thing. I mean, it's 100 things you could do. And even after naming you 100, I'm sure there's
Sure,
another
there's going to
100
be
more to
more.
put on the list. Exactly.